Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Rhoberta Shaler, the Relationship Help Doctor. And today I want to put your mind at rest. If you're wondering if you are actually seeing red flags, if you need some clear signs to watch out for, I'm going to give you 8 crystal clear signs that you are in love with a truly difficult person. And that in loveness may be, of course, your romantic partner, your spouse, but it also bears listening to this episode if you have a truly difficult parent, partner, ex, coworker, sibling, family member. We're going to talk about all those things so that you can see these 8 crystal clear signs. So stay tuned and tell your friends to join you and listen in if they happen to be experiencing the same thing. Welcome to Save Your Sanity, help for handling hijackals, those difficult, toxic, and often disturbing people in your life. I'm Dr. Rhoberta Shaler, the Relationship Help Doctor, and I'm here for you. You'll get the insight, skills, strategies, and support to stop tolerating verbal and emotional abuse, whether it's happening now or it happened to you in the past, maybe by a parent, partner, ex, relative, or even a coworker. Time to take life back, to recover and to rediscover you, your values, dreams, desires, and realize them in healthy ways in healthy relationships. I'm so glad you're here. Have you ever noticed that when you meet somebody, they seem really confident and charming and challenging, maybe in an intriguing way, and then all of a sudden, or after a little while of creeping problems, they just seem like a jerk? Or maybe you first met someone and they seemed mysterious, delightfully unpredictable, and they kept you guessing, but in the most alluring way possible. And then, over time, they just turned into an alien? Well, love and hate relationships seem funny and even romantic, but only in the movies. In real life, they'll wreak havoc with your health and your happiness. So I wanted to talk today about 8 crystal clear signs that you're in love with a truly difficult person, because most people don't want to see it. They know something's wrong, but they don't want to be wrong about having chosen that person. So they overlook these signs, they deny these signs, they make excuses or rationalizations or justifications for these signs. And once you get involved with difficult people, you'll second guess yourself constantly. You'll question your sanity whenever you try to solve everyday issues. And it's even more problematic if the relationship has gone on for a long time, or you've moved in together, had children together, married, whatever you've done. So it's important to know that for difficult people, much of their behavior is a result of their early life situations. You see, it's not that your partner won't play nicely. He or she can't play nicely, has no intention of playing nicely, believes they're already playing nicely because they're getting what they want, and you can't make them change or fix them either. And yes, it's frustrating. You're the considerate one. You bend, you overextend, you make excuses, you give them space, support, you give in, and you don't expect too much, but nothing changes. It's infuriating, and the happy relationship you hoped for, well, it feels miserable and sometimes even hopeless. You might have been so well raised that you think, if only I were more patient or more nurturing or more kind and understanding, then this crazy making would stop. You look to yourself as the first source of the problem, and it's always a good start, but in this case, it's time to stop that. You need to look squarely at these 8 traits I'm going to talk with you about today and see how many your partner actually has, really has. If it's a lot of them, then you'll probably want to get some help in managing your relationship, and I'm always here to help you. Just go to beaclient.com. That'll take you right to my introductory 1-hour session, beaclient.com. So let's look at these 8 traits and see how your relationship stacks up and what your partner is doing. So these are 8 things to keep in mind, crystal clear signs that you're with a truly difficult person. So A difficult person makes you question if you can trust them. You tell yourself you're safe with them, but all too often you find there are cracks in the foundation and you misplace your trust. They go so far that they feel like a bad person for not trusting them. You feel like a bad person for not trusting them, even though you know you can't. And they may even make you wrong when you say you don't trust them, and that is one of the ploys and the difficulties. So difficult people make you question if you can trust them. And that's their behavior. It is not you. It is them. Okay, second one. Difficult people, they're hard to communicate with. In fact, communication can seem really vague. Nothing ever seems to be permanently pinned down. Have you noticed that? Everything is in flux. Decisions that you may have think you made together, all of a sudden they're changed or they're negated, or the favorite one of Hijackals, they're twisted. And what does that do to you? It leaves you twisting in the wind. Have you had that feeling? Difficult people have no real interest in stopping the conflicts. They seem bound and determined to keep them going. And you're right, these people thrive on conflict and they want to keep things in a state of constant chaos. They love the power of being able to stir the mix up all the time. That makes them feel powerful. If they can keep you second guessing, it makes them feel in charge. So that is something you need to see. It is a crystal clear sign. Here's a fourth one. Difficult people won't let you get close to them emotionally. As soon as you get too close, and they're the ones that define too close, as soon as you get too close, they do something to break the connection. And yet, strangely, they tell you that you're the one who's emotionally distant. Have you had that happen? You notice they're being emotionally distant. You tell them they're being emotionally distant. And all of a sudden they're back at you saying, no, you're the one who's emotionally distant. It's a circus, and you need to notice it. People with these traits fear closeness. They fear being seen. They fear being monitored. So all the while they have this fear of closeness, they're claiming that they don't get enough closeness. And they're making you wrong for that. It's crazy making. And you really have to notice these things. These things are so important to see. So they won't let you get close to them emotionally, even though they're making you wrong for not getting emotionally close. Oh, crazy making. Another, difficult people blame you for everything. It's always your fault. It's never their fault. I know you feel that if you've been around a difficult person. You can't win. You simply can't. And if by chance you're not the one who's blamed, well, then it'll be something else. It'll be the weather or the family or the office or the government or God or just I'm not feeling good at the moment. And for that reason, you often finally kind of give up trying to solve problems, and way too often you're likely to give in. And attempts at being rational with them are exhausting. You can't be right because they can't be wrong. And that just doesn't stop. It is a constant thing. You always have to be wrong. And even if you're right, they'll make you wrong. They'll blame you for everything because they cannot for one moment think that they have a flaw. It's unthinkable to them. So therefore, you must be the one who's flawed. You must be the one with the problem. Okay, there's 5 things. Let's think about 3 more. So, difficult people act on their feelings in the moment, not on facts. Their response to any situation is how they feel about it in the moment. They're not focused on what actually happened, because those would be facts. They're focused on how they feel about it at this moment, and that's subject to change, of course. And because they feel it, they think it makes it true. And what you feel has no bearing on the matter. What you think has no bearing on the matter. They're not interested in you. They're only interested in themselves. And so they make assumptions and presumptions about your ideas and feelings and motives and needs. And they're happy to tell you that. That's what we call gaslighting. They want to define your reality for you. They're not interested in how you see the world. They're interested in telling you how you see the world. They won't ask you directly. They honestly believe, and they really need to believe in order to sustain their problem, that they know you better than you know yourself, that they know you in more depth than you know yourself. And that's a big issue. Now, I'm not spending a lot of time on these things in today's episode because I talk about it a lot on my YouTube channel. You can go there, youtube.com/for, F-O-R, relationship help, H-E-L-P, for relationship help, youtube.com/for relationship help. And every Monday night I have a live broadcast, a live stream where you can join in the chat, ask your questions, Monday nights at 6 p.m. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on solutions here today. I am giving you these signs so that you can see them. So remember that they're always going to act on their feelings at the moment. One of their things is that they must win in the moment. So therefore they have to be right in the moment. And how they feel is all that matters. The facts don't count. Now here's number 7. Difficult people refuse, and they're quite likely incapable of self-reflection. So when you're so busy making assumptions about your partner and knowing your partner is always wrong, why bother with introspection? Because you've already decided you're right. There's nothing to think about. And also, self-reflection is really for courageous, honest, open, healthy people who are not afraid of life, who are not petrified of being wrong, are not petrified of feeling any shame. And people with the traits I'm talking about today and these 8 signs, they find it, the very idea of looking inward, completely terrifying. So they won't do it because they cannot be wrong. So to keep themselves in what they think they need to do to be safe, they make themselves right all the time. So therefore, they're not going to look at their behavior. They're not going to reflect on it. Now, I've had clients, of course, who say, yes, I know I fly off the handle. I rage. I say all kinds of awful things. I'm going to change. I'm going to change. But you know, the proof is in the pudding. They don't change. Maybe for a little while they hold their tongue, but pretty soon they're right back at it because that's what hijackals do. So don't believe it. Stand back, look at the patterns, look at the cycles. You know, you may have watched my program. I have a course called Seeing the Cycles. Just go to transformingrelationship.com, click on the store, you'll see it there. You really need to understand the hallmarks of hijackals that I go over in there. You need to see the traits and the patterns and the cycles because they're not going to see it. They're too involved in it. And their fear of ever having an imperfection, a flaw, or being wrong is so high that they are not going to be self-reflective. Even when you try and help them with that in a non-threatening environment, you can't do that because everything is a threat to them if they have to look at their behavior. Okay, the last one I want to share with you today is that difficult people operate from fear at all times. Even when they're being nice, they are operating from fear. And that's why every disagreement is a possible war. That's why you feel so hypervigilant about what are they thinking, what are they feeling, and what are they going to do. Because they fear any conversation that they cannot control. And that's why nothing is ever their fault. They're petrified that something could be their fault. So if these 8 traits set off alarm bells for you, don't panic. When your partner has these traits, you will either argue a whole lot or one of you will shut down, withhold, and dish out the silent treatment. Neither of those strategies will work well, but they will happen. Just think how many times you've been shut out. A hijackal will shut you out, shut you down by giving you the silent treatment or constantly talking over you or constantly making you wrong. And I know you love this person. You probably do, or you did at one point. Maybe you want to keep the relationship together. Maybe you're willing to look at it. And if you do, let's work together to see what's possible. You'll need that extra help, that expert help too, to shift your thinking, to move away from the blame you're always in and establish new patterns of relationship. Now, if you're with a hijackal, I know this sounds rough and it doesn't sound fair, but you're going to have to be the one who changes first, because only then you'll know what's possible. If we work together and when we work together, I'll give you strategies to try to see what ground can be made, how you can help the relationship, if you can help the relationship. But these signs that I'm talking about today are very endemic to the hijackal, and you can't do much about them. Crazy making behaviors will still persist, but getting some help and getting some new strategies, working together, we can put an end to your second guessing yourself and questioning your sanity. Because underneath, that person can still be confident and charming or mysterious and delightful, as I said at the beginning of the broadcast, but you need help to see what's really going on, to see what you can do, how you can change, what techniques and strategies you can use, and then see if it brings about any change. And if it does, great. If it doesn't, you know you gave it your best shot. You know the person doesn't want to change and doesn't put their relationship above their need to have power and control. So I hope these things have helped you today. I hope that they've given you crystal clear signs, as I call them, because if those 8 things are happening, they are crystal clear signs that you are in a relationship that is going to be continually problematic. It is not going to change. And you need to get help to see if there's anything you can do, or to assess your situation, or to see clearly what's actually going on because you're too close to it. And that's what we can do. I'm happy to help you. Remember, if you're ready to get help right now, I offer a 1-hour introductory full session for only $97, and then we decide where to go from there. You do that by going to beaclient.com. How simple could that be? Beaclient.com. I'm Dr. Rhoberta Shaler, the Relationship Help Doctor. I'm here for you. I really am. I've been through these things myself. I have survived. I not only survived, I've thrived, triumphed, and made a great life. I can help you do the same thing. And I hope that we can talk soon. In the meantime, go to my website, transformingrelationship.com. transformingrelationship.com. Talk soon. I'm so glad you spent this time with me today. I hope you heard something that touched your heart and empowered you to move forward. You can have the life and relationships that you most want, and that begins with you, within you, today. I'm always here for you. Life can get better, and you heard that from me, the Relationship Help Doctor. I'm Rhoberta Shaler, and I work with clients throughout the world through video conferencing. We can talk. So learn more at forrelationshiphelp.com, forrelationshiphelp.com, or visit me on YouTube at For Relationship Help. Join me for next week's show.